Hello, hello, and welcome again to Reality Exposed Unmasking Global Deceit. I'm your co host, Francine, and I am glad to be back. I have been gone. Gina's taken over and done a great job. Yes, I was moving to my new location. See the water? So, anyway, hello, Gina. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic and welcome back. You were greatly missed, let's just say. I was like,
You
I feel
handled
an
it like a
emptiness in
champ.
my soul.
You handled it like a champ.
I did the
Um,
best that I could.
yes. Well, today I want to start before Jeannie even tells you what we are talking about. Here is a quote from Plato. Those who tell the stories rule society. That fits right in with what we are talking about
Yep.
today, right, Gina? What are we talking about today?
Yes. So today's topic is about, well, let's just say it's about the three-letter agency, starting with the letter C. I
IA.
and A and the CIA, which is obviously the Central Intelligence Agency, created July 26, 1947. And you remember the movie Enemy of the State with the Will Smith? Well, anyway, that title of the movie, Enemy of the State, that's the CIA, Enemy of the State.
Yes,
they,
I agree.
they are the enemy. And so yes, and so what they were here to do is that they were an agency. They collect, evaluate, and disseminate vital information on economics, military, political stuff, scientific stuff, and other developments uh, aboard to safeguard national security. However, but if they're affiliated with the government, then we know that the three-letter agencies, whether it be FBI, CIA, you can name the other ones,
IRS.
IRS, exactly. When they're all government affiliated, then we know we need to be on high alert because what do we know about the government from these last podcasts? That the government is corrupt and here to control us. And that's what the word government comes from, meaning control our mind. And that is what the Central Intelligence uh, Agency has been doing. And we'll first start by talking about Operation Mockingbird. And what that is a covert US government operation, of course, run by the CIA to implant pro US propaganda in American media and front organizations. So this actually started in the 1950s. The CIA began to hire and contact students and people in the media to write false stories or embellish stories to favor the US government.
They were
Now,
also blackmailing journalists,
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
blackmailing them, bribing them, however they could get them over. That's what they did.
Yeah, totally. And what's interesting is that this Operation Mockingbird we're still living it, okay? You can just turn on to that nice square object in front of you called the television. And then
And
there's
it
your
tells
Operation Mockingbird.
tells lies to your vision. Tell live
Exactly.
vision.
Exactly. And that's what it is. Whether it be through commercials, whether it be through
News.
movies, news, especially the news. And I don't know if you've noticed, and I don't know if you've seen this, Francine, before, and there's clips where they will show all the news stations in like these saying the same exact prompt, like the same exact
I
lines.
just watched it this morning in regards to, I don't remember. It was something older. It was an older broadcast, but it was like they showed this one saying it and this one, and then they put them all up on the screen together, and it was just spewing shit out their mouths. And it was like, jeez, this is bad.
Exactly. Exactly. And these are just false stories just to get us to follow what they say. They want to control the masses. And when they control the masses through fear, violence, any type of negative emotion associated with it, this is where then as a conscious collective, this is how our society then gets crazy, like riots, like the Antifa riots,
Well,
right? Although
when
there's some stories about that one too.
in the early 1900s, Rockefeller, when he bought out all the newspapers, you telling
Oh
me he
yeah.
didn't play a part in all this? Come on now.
Right. And these are part of the, I don't know if you listened to the last podcast I was talking about the Khazarian mafia. That's part of where he comes from too. Rockefeller, Mr. Burns too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, they were saying, and I saw a video and I watched it this morning. In 1975, it was the House Intelligence Committee. There was a William Colby, and he admitted that they had over 3,000 trained um, people that are
wow.
writing stories for American journals. So,
Mhm.
and then there were over 5,000 college professors who helped because they would enlist the radical students,
Mm,
to start all their propaganda garbage.
exactly.
And
And
it's
even like,
never officially, Mockingbird has never officially been, what's the word they used? Discontinued.
yeah, yeah. It's just to have us controlled. And once they figure out that we can be controlled and they can do whatever they say, that we'll just follow and be like robots. And we are not robots. We do have a
And
soul.
now a CIA memo, their quote was they did controlling an individual to the point to do our bidding against his will.
Mm.
That's a CIA memo.
Yeah, and they've used a lot of things, I would say the US government has drugged, they've raped, they've tortured and murdered United States citizens with massive experiments for decades, with chemicals, and they've used hypnosis, sensory deprivation. And this is we're going to be getting into the MK Ultra and what that is too pretty soon. Um, and even isolation and death. And it's just the means to their actual end game. So they want us to all.
You mean the prison camps that they built for
Oh,
us?
yeah. Did you know that? I was just listening to something today about how New York actually,
Yeah, and people need to pay attention to what they're watching and say, well, okay, this is made by Hollywood, but where did this come from?
hmm hmm
There has to be something to it. And if you notice,
100%.
I think Hollywood tells us more truth than, and they do. They do. They shove it right in our faces, and we just
Yes.
go, oh, what a good movie. Yay.
You are absolutely right. Yes, they do. And I'm just going to give an example. So my husband and I were watching the show. We're binge watching because we don't watch the news or anything or TV. We just watch like shows. And Sons of Anarchy. Have you seen that before? Okay, so it's about this motorcycle biker gang. And anyway, they're in a business where they are selling guns and they are in business with the Irish. And and so we're at like season 6 right now. And right now in the season, and sorry, spoiler alert, um, they want to get out the guns, and they what they showed was, a little boy. He comes from a mom who was drugged out, and he was going to a Catholic school, and and then they just show the boy in the clip in different scenarios and scenes, and then apparently he goes and writes in his journal and it leaves the journal there, and it has like the wind flips all the pages and they're all like these nasty drawings of like demons and guns and all this stuff, and he goes out and starts shooting, and this kid is like only maybe 10 years old or 11 years old. And so they made this whole scenario about everything. And then about how they need to get out of the gun business. Guns are no good. And that was the whole premises, I think, of the actual show itself, was how they're trying to get out of the gun business. But then I had to think to myself, and I was like, you know what, this makes sense, because I'm pretty sure that during this time that this was aired was probably during the times that they were trying to get the guns out of this US citizens homes and like propaganda. Like even our shows that we watch, and it's an entertainment, I just use them as entertainment. They're nothing more than that to me. I don't I don't personally, I mean, yeah, I feel sometimes because I'm human. So I do will take on an emotion or whatever, but I don't let it affect me in that way. But seeing these videos, I'm like, huh, makes sense. They want us not to have guns. They want people to go ahead and vote against guns. It makes total sense. And I can see it in plain sight, like you said, what they're trying to do and their exact plan.
And it's crazy about the guns too, because the Second Amendment was for us to be able to protect ourselves against our own government.
Right.
And if you take the guns out of the hands of the legal people, do you really think criminals are going to give up their guns? No. So you are unarming us, but the criminals will not be unarmed, and guns don't kill people. I have never seen a gun kill anyone. They don't do anything.
They're
If
just
you
there.
don't touch it, they just sit there, and people, some people have mental health issues. And
Mm-hmm.
whether it be a gun or a knife or a bomb, they're going to do what they're going to do anyway. So don't blame the guns,
Right.
and I'm a firm believer of the Second Amendment.
Yes.
1,000%.
Yes, because we're supposed to overthrow our government if they start acting, or if they're going against we the people. It says in the Constitution.
I think they're expecting us to, because otherwise, why are all these military age people coming across our border? That's for another show.
I know there's so many angles you can take things with off of, it's like we talk about
Mhm.
something like, oh, that reminds me of this, or oh, that reminds me of that.
Well, because
But
it's all
yeah,
interconnected, and it's
yeah.
all our government.
Right. It's in our magazines, billboards too. They wanted the consumerism. There's this other clip that I have that's very interesting. It's like a little cartoon, and it's about this little mouse. It's very cute. I mean, but it gives you like the raw truth of like how us citizens live our daily lives and how we're so much controlled. And you see like the mouse going inside this tight subway, going to work, and you see all these little mice, walking to do their jobs or whatever. And then afterwards, and then you see all these billboards, travel here, you buy this, get that, do this, that, gamble here. So they go and gamble and then they lose their money, and then they're sad, and then they say, oh, drink this, oh, I go drink, okay, drink some alcohol, waste life away. And it's just like a cycle that never ends. And then we're just like robots, in other words. But it's very interesting. I'll have to send that one to you. I
I
actually have it on my TikTok page, actually.
That reminds me, I got somebody was saying they had commented on one of my posts about October 4th.
Mm,
And she said, well, I heard the noise and it was a little jarring. That right there should speak volumes, because when has an emergency alert ever been jarring? You know what I
wow.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, I don't know if you caught anything else I've said, but there's a lot of reasons it was jarring, and none of them are good. And, we need to protect ourselves. And she's like, well, and this is what I mean about the spirituality thing. And you can be spiritual. I'm very spiritual, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
nobody's sitting duck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to bury my head in the sand and love and light and all this. Yes, love and light and all that, but she said she is not going to live her life in fear. I am not living my life in fear, believe me. But there's a difference between living your life in fear and being aware of what your surroundings are. You
Mm-hmm.
know, bury your head back in the sand. I don't know what to tell you, because and it's people like that who choose to ignore what is going on and, think, well, it's spiritual. Sure, death would be better than this because I'm going to be in a better place. So am I afraid of death? Fuck no. Would I stand up and fight as an American if I had to? Oh, yeah. Because it's what I'm here to do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here to tell people what is going on. That is part of my mission, as well it is yours, Gina. You know that. Um,
Yeah.
and being informed doesn't mean you have to live in fear. Gina, do you live in fear?
Heck no.
Who has time? I don't have enough time in the day to find fear anywhere. And if you are in touch with your spirituality and you know God, then being aware is great because you know what is the truth and you know what is going on, and you need to be aware of what is going on and how people are trying to manipulate you,
Mm-hmm.
but there's really nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
Yes. Yes. We're not supposed to be fearful. We're supposed to be loving and just connected and just serving. But
Yeah,
this has been going on, as we know, for a long time
since
since
humans
Enlil
existed.
and Enlil
Yeah,
lived.
since before humans existed.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly,
mean,
exactly.
it's
The
yeah,
deception.
but I want to know how, because this I have not researched, is how all this relates to MK Ultra.
Yeah, so MK Ultra. Now they've made movies about it. There's even a movie called Hypnotic, and it's not even being like hypnotized where you go to hypnotherapist or something. Like I've had biofeedback done myself, but I still have complete control of my own awareness, thoughts, and like actions. Um, the MK Ultra actually was used to control us, and it was during I think the Cold War when let me get my notes out for this one because I had to do some research on this as I wanted to know like who and what and where and how and what's going on. Let me get it here. Oh, Winston's there.
Sitting right there on the desk.
So yeah, they are wanting to willingly and knowingly trying to control our thoughts and behaviors, everything that we do and everything that we think. So a lot of the MK Ultra is around like certain assassinations, conspiracies, cover-ups, manipulations of Hollywood, and all this stuff. And it's actually it was a covert operation. And there is a show or movie, there's a documentary, and I have it here. It was about, do you know Frank Olson?
Mm-mm.
So yeah, he was a scientist that they later discovered that he was actually working for the CIA, but he had one of those mystery deaths that he supposedly jumped out of the window and killed himself in New York. And his son, what's his son's name? Eric, I think, was trying to figure out like this is not right. My dad wouldn't do this. And so there's this whole movie, and I think it's called Wormwood. I think the movie is called Wormwood.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, and that's talking about Frank Olson and what happened to him and how he was working on a project called MK Ultra, which is pretty much have you seen Stranger Things? You haven't seen that one yet, have you?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so for those who have, and spoiler alert for you too, there's some scenes where 11, I think her name is, which is the one who has all these abilities and can do different things, bend things and whatever. And she was seen in a facility which I think was controlled by the CIA, where they were doing experiments, giving their patients LSD and also then brainwashing them, taking out memories of their lives, and then actually feeding them information. And what I've learned, let me just say, okay, so in So it was happening in the wake of World War II. U.S. government had a large number of secret medical experiments designed to help with the Cold War, apparently, and a lot of these developing techniques for mind control. And what they did is they to create a so-called Maturin candidate, which is the extent of these brainwashing experience. And the CIA became involved because, of
I
course, they
think
want to
there's actually
control
a
us.
movie called The Manchurian Candidate.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yep,
have
I
to
think
look
so,
that
yeah.
up. Oh, I want to look that one up. So there is this. So in May 1953, scientists researched this nerve agent or this chemical called sarin. Have you heard of that before? I didn't hear about that. I was like, what's that? And so they would have military volunteers go, and then they would actually take them into a small room with some technicians. And what they were doing is they would give them two pieces of material that was taped onto their forearm, and then afterward they would take it off and then put droplets on their arm, and then they would give them like a gas mask, like a respirator. What do you call those things?
Respirator thing?
Respirators, yeah, respiration. And then they were told not to take it off, and then they shut the door, and it was sealed. And a lot of them were getting all paranoid and freaking out and having like they were just in panic mode, of course. I mean, like it reminds me of the movie Insidious, where that lady had to go into that gas mask. And I don't know, have you seen that movie?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I I see, trust me, like all these movies that I'm watching, they all connect to something. But so what happened is that they freaked out and then wound up leaving and decided never to do those experiments again. And also there, hold on one second, let me see. It goes to, oh yeah, so the new goal is to have the individual become subservient to an imposed control to a point where he or she will perform acts against his will and then have no memory of that act. So this is how they use the MK Ultra. Um, and like, so to produce such, so the CIA actually has two main challenges: how to induce amnesia and how to program in new behavior. But Dr. What's his name? Union Cameron, this is in 1957. So he had like this three-part technique, which gave the effort to go ahead and wipe past patterns and behaviors. This was used with repetitive, like high levels of electric shock. And they would do this until they didn't convulse anymore. Then, then Cameron would place like tape recorded messages through helmets, like football helmets look like, and that are locked into the patient's head. This forced them to listen to repetitive statements for weeks on and to program in new behavior. And then the final phase was to wipe out all recollection of by putting them to sleep for 30 to 40 days, accompanied by lots of different kinds of cocktails of drugs. And then this brainwashing experiment was, they claimed it was like therapy, but obviously it wasn't. It was all brainwashing. And so a lot of this had happened. This happens to a lot of our celebrities too. They have what's called a handler. And that's why they I think they take them and do something with them, and then that's why you see their clone or their or doppelganger or whatever pretending to be them, because they're doing some things with them, and they're all controlled. Like you have to understand, these celebrities are like also they're puppets, and so whether
Mhm.
they're being taken for brainwashing and to put in information, that's true too. And if you've watched the movie Clockwork Orange, that's another example of MK Ultra, is where that's why they have the eye open like that, and then they're just feeding information because he can't close his eye. It's just brainwashing, and they just use this to manipulate and to control the masses, and it's very sad. So that was my little take on MK Ultra.
I think that's how, like, they get a lot of the celebrities to do these things.
Yes.
Because, I don't know. And then there's that one song. Who is it? can't think of it now. No, never mind. It's a new song about this chick, and she's TikTok famous, but now she's like becoming mainstream, and it's a popular song.
No, I don't know. Trying to think. And it was on TikTok.
It's everywhere. Um, Something I'd rather be famous instead. Ooh, she's a rebel. I can hear it going in my head, and basically she's selling her soul. She'd rather be famous,
Mm-hmm.
but what do they?
Um,
Maybe that's how, I don't know,
they,
how it all ties into
I
Disney
know
and
we
the
were talking about
kids.
Britney
And
Spears too.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
not the real Britney right
Disney,
now. It just
exactly.
cannot be.
No.
It doesn't even look like her.
And because did you
I
see I
don't
saw
think.
some video of her like dancing with knives all like I mean that is not her.
If you watch the stuff, yes, that's an Instagram thing. If you watch the Instagram stuff that she's doing, because they're trying to make her look crazy again,
Yep. This is all part of the
it does
control.
not look like her. I don't care if she was rode hard, put up wet, and aged like shit. That's not her. I don't care. Look, I've had issues with my eyes for a long time. They're good now. I wear glasses. They're good. One of them's even 2020. So
Oh, nice.
I know that's not her. And I don't think Justin Bieber's the real Justin Bieber either.
Yeah. And did you watch those videos that I sent over about Britney
Mm-hmm.
Spears? That was very
Yep.
interesting, huh? I had to rewatch those too because I remember I had them and I'm like, oh yeah. And then her
And that
story.
agent is agent of some other major famous people.
Hmm.
You don't think it's about the money, do you?
Yeah, Lou Taylor, I think, is the
Yep.
manager.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And it
And
and that
well, a lot of MK Ultra now ties to Disney
hmm
because they do, when the park shuts down, they're in there. And yep, I've read a lot
yeah.
about that they use Disney parks to do whatever it
Mind
is they're
control.
doing. Yep.
Exactly. If you see your children, watching like a cartoon and they're just like have this glossy look in their eye and they're just like staring at the screen like
That's
this.
how all the kids look now. I don't remember watching cartoons like that. We would
Me neither.
laugh and
They're just like staring off like it's because they're being hypnotized or mind controlled somehow in their cartoons. I heard that you remember that famous Disney movie. It was all like music. I forget what it's called, and it had Mickey Mouse like
Fantasia.
as Fantasia. I
I've never seen that
apparently,
one actually.
yeah, neither have I. I've only seen like bits and pieces of it because I didn't. I mean, if there's no words, it didn't interest me as a child.
Yeah,
But it'd be interesting to see that. And apparently, that's supposed to be all like mind control. Oh, there's a crow that just landed right there. Hi,
that's
crow.
interesting.
Oh, girl, me and the crows. I don't know. That's my first memory too. When I was a baby, a crow was staring right at me. I'm like in my crib.
I don't like birds. I don't. They
They
freak
peck
me
at you.
out.
They peck at
I
you.
actually had one. It was a big old, I don't know, was it a parrot or something? It grabbed me by the ponytail one day, and I was like, I thought somebody pulled my hair as I walked by, and I turned around, and it was a bird, and I'm like, oh, put that thing away. Put that thing away. I just freaked. I don't know. It's their eyes, their beady little eyes. I don't like that.
Speaking about birds, like on my TikTok page, I remember I filmed like I was at a park and there was like bird like crows just so many. I was like, oh my goodness, something's about to go down. It
Well,
was
remember
crazy.
when they said they basically fell out of the sky? That it wasn't too long ago.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
thousands of birds, just like
Yeah. So many of them over there. I'm like,
Probably all the chemtrails killed them all.
yeah. Yeah, that's why my eyes are all watery. Like because we leave the window open. I swear, like I'm fine at before I go to bed, but then when I wake up, my eyes are watery, like my nose is all stuffy. I'm like coughing a little bit. I'm like, what the heck? They spray that stuff at night where people are sleeping. So
Yep. I wake up
but
stuffy all the time too. And I notice
yeah,
I'm doing it here. And this is a new apartment. And I don't know. Kind of makes you
yeah,
wonder. Because
yeah,
this morning I woke up stuffy going, well, what the hell? Why am I stuffy?
yeah. So that's me this morning. My eyes are all like watery and glossy. I'm like, the heck is going on? I already know what's going on, but it's like, dang, it is crazy. Yeah, but back to the Disney. So that whole Fantasia or that movie is supposed to be to kind of hypnotize children in a way. Same thing
Well,
with
with the cartoons, what gets me is when you see all the things, and I don't have any examples in front of me, that are phallic symbols, or I was looking at something the other day and it was showing, and I was like, you got, and I forgot where it went. 'Cause I've been moving and I'm all over the place, but
yeah.
I wanted to go back and research were these things actually there, but
Hmm.
now I can't find where it was. So, but
Yeah.
it's crazy that I have seen pictures of Mickey Mouse that are supposedly from his early cartoons.
Hmm.
They're straight as pornographic.
Wow. I wouldn't be
And I'm like,
surprised.
all right, without getting too graphic, how do you think he was making Swiss cheese?
Oh, yeah. And that's why you see all these sexual things on Disney as well. Little hidden messages, little BONERSs like
Yeah,
from these
that's
these
how he
these
was making
cartoons.
the Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what about that? When they did it, it was on Netflix. And this is when I stopped watching Netflix, when they put on
Hmm.
that show Cuties.
Oh, I heard about that. That's just ridiculous. First off, as if
I
I
watched
don't have
some
any
of it.
girls.
Oh, what the hell is wrong with their parents?
That's what I'm saying. I don't have any girls, but if I did that, forget it. No way. No way.
And then Netflix didn't want to take it down. And for even Netflix to put that on, I was like, yep, I'm done. And I
Yeah.
canceled right then and haven't watched it since.
Yeah. Who controls all of the shows, the streaming channels? Hello.
They say that, things they've put into place, like certain acts and laws and stuff that are supposed to stop monopolies. That's all this world is a monopoly. Every
Hmm.
business that's all the big businesses are all monopolies.
Totally.
They are. They're
Yep.
just,
The corporate and
most are owned by the same people.
hmm
They all have little other businesses that they put the name under, and this and that, and they all come back to like three
yeah.
certain businesses.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy that, during the whole lockdown when in 2020, shut down all the family businesses that own like grocery stores and other like essential items that they would probably sell from their own stores, but then yet keep, Target open, keep all the other stores that they own, Walmart open, but shut us all down.
Amazon never got shut down.
Yeah, Amazon never got
That's
shut
what it
down.
was about. I knew I'd remember. When they were talking, we said all the people were saying the exact same crap. It was about
Yes.
Amazon during the COVID thing and how everybody was working safely, you know. And that's another thing about
Oh
how
yeah,
we
I
know
saw
we're being
that.
controlled because the WHO,
Hmm.
and they're all the oh, the who said this and the who said that, and you can't say anything against the who, and da 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 da. We all know they're lying about COVID, and they're flat out looking at, giving news broadcasts about how great these vaccines are. Oh, fucking please. Why don't you tell the people what's really in them? And when there's an actual patent that you can look up that tells you these things, how is that going? You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Well, like,
I
okay,
know. I
here's
love
here's
it.
my thing, right? I did an experiment. Okay, so I wanted to know what the media was putting out and what people in other countries were hearing. Because we know what we hear here. I mean, sometimes we get both sides, not on the news, but we know where to find the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of us do. And so I do work with a lot of people in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
So I would ask them, what are you guys getting about Trump? What are they putting out there? Oh, he's horrible and he's a racist and he's this and he's that. And I would just start laughing. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yep, you guys are getting the bullshit, because it was the smear campaign that even Nancy Pelosi talked about that they do. It's their tactic, how they smear somebody, and then she called it monetize or whatever. No, market. Then they market it or something, and then the news media picks it up, and it's a tactic that the government uses.
Mm-hmm.
And did they ever say why Trump was racist? Because I would tell people, I'm like, look, you have no idea. If you look at the numbers, what's like the Black communities, how they were growing, and the jobless rates were going way down, and people who were employed, and, all this. And I'm like, but he's a racist. And then I'm like, do they ever show you anything about Joe Biden? No. And I'm like, there's your racist. And that is proven. And I would show them montages
Yeah.
of that muffin head and the shit that would come out of his mouth.
Yeah.
If you don't vote for me, you ain't Black.
Yeah.
What kind of garbage is that? And then and a lot of them were older, because
Mm.
when he was younger, since he's been in politics since he was forever, back in the day, he would say a lot of things, a lot of really outrageous things. And I'm not going to say it was acceptable, but it wasn't so shocking, way back then when they were just starting to come out of the racism and trying to move away from it. But he was still stuck there. He's still stuck there today. Well, no, he's not, because he's dead. But
Yeah, the other one.
yeah, his imposters are definitely still spewing his shit. But and they would look at it and go, oh my God, are you serious? And I'm like, it is right in front of you. And some people still wouldn't believe it. And I'm like, wait a minute, I just showed you. And then I would show them how Trump was with the Black community, like a lot of rappers, how many photos that these rappers would take with him, and a lot of them put Trump's name in their music, because
Mm-hmm.
of he represented the life that a lot of people want to live, big business and money and this and that and power. But there was never a racist bone in his body, and there still isn't. And it was
Yeah.
just to make people hate him. It was a big campaign by Operation Mockingbird,
Yeah.
to make everybody hate Trump. And
And it
nobody, you ask
worked
people,
for
what
people.
did he do? Why do you hate him? Nobody can give you an answer.
Exactly. Me, I never hated him. Like whatever, people would say, "Oh, he's arrogant or narcissist."
So,
I was like,
so are a lot of people. What's that got to do with the price of tea in China?
I
Because
didn't pay attention
if
to
he
all
can
that
run my
stuff.
government, if he can run the government and drain the swamp, and they would focus on, well, he said this about women. Well, your husband slept with a chick while he was on the job, and so did you. But that's okay. You know what I mean? He didn't. I've heard people say worse about women, and I've heard women say worse about men. So,
Mhm.
okay, so he's human. Now what? Now what you got?
Exactly. I had never any problem whatsoever. Actually, I actually felt connected
I
spiritually,
kind of like
actually.
him. Can he be an asshole? Sure.
So can
There were
I.
times I would watch him on that You're Fired show, whatever that is.
Yeah. Oh
It,
yeah,
yeah, his show.
Apprentice.
Yes. And it'd be like, damn, he's a dick. He just like chopping them off at the knees. But that was business, and that is how some people are in business. And sometimes you've got to be like that to run your business. You can't be friends with everybody or you'll drown, and he just tell them flat out. If they sucked, he would tell them, well, that's horrible or whatever. But so he's
He's
human.
telling you the truth, at least, not lying to you.
Yep. You don't like the way he delivers it. That doesn't make him a bad person.
And then that's our own character that needs to get a little bit stronger then and be able to take things like that, criticism
That's
and
why hurt feelings is a you problem.
yeah, that's why I'm saying I always say like people can call me whatever they want to call me. It's not going to affect me.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
actually made a video about that, about why your hurt feelings is a you problem, because it's your own trauma makes your feelings get hurt. I don't care what people say about me because I don't put any stock into what people say about me.
hmm
Why should I? I know who I
Yeah.
am. What their opinion is their opinion. So
hmm
what? I'm not going to
Exactly.
go cry about it.
Yeah.
I'll probably laugh about it, but I'm not going to cry about it, I'm still going to carry on with my life,
hmm
and if I was that worried, I wouldn't be doing this kind of podcast either, because a
Right.
lot of people got a lot of opinions about this. Look at them two
Right.
nutbags.
That
They don't even
actually
know
is a
what the
good
fuck they're talking about. Blah blah.
like that lady on your group page.
Oh yes, I never told the people
Or
about
is it
that,
guy?
did
I don't
I?
know.
So
Mm-mm.
I have a group in Facebook, and it's a spiritually based group about anything spiritual. Somehow this woman got the impression I was just a tarot group. No, I never said that. It is never stated anywhere. And she said something about me being on my soapbox and this group shouldn't be about this and it's supposed to be a tarot group and you're a crackpot and all this. Now, here's my thing, right? I'm not supposed to say my own opinions or put out a friendly advisory about October 4th, right? And that's what I did, because I feel if I know something and I don't share it, then I'm wrong. Because
Mm-hmm.
I am here to share these bits of information. What you do with that information I give you is completely up to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't force my opinion on anyone, but in actuality, the group is mine. The
Mm-hmm.
admin is me. The name on the group has, I did
Your
it.
picture.
So for me, not, for her to tell me I can't express my opinion or say what I want to say, and she's telling me what my group should be about. Well, here's the thing. I'm not supposed to have freedom of speech in my own fucking group. But she's allowed the freedom of speech to talk shit.
Right. That's how they are.
That's the radical left right there.
Yes, the hypocrites.
And to me, that person, good luck to any client she ever has, because I can tell you right now, she can never read for somebody and be neutral about it, because I already see
Right.
how hot she gets about her feelings about something. I mean, I started laughing. I did. I thought it was hysterical. I even reposted it.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure everybody saw it. Well, this says it. But that's how people on the left, the radical left, because I'm not going to say every Democrat is like this, because they're not. Um, but there are those special few that think that their opinions are the only ones that count. Well, what's that expression? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. So I am free to say whatever I please, whether I post it publicly in a group, it comes out my mouth. I can say what I want.
Yeah,
Simple.
as you
If
should.
you want to call me a crackpot, go right the fuck ahead. I personally could care less.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because one thing, and I know this so far deep in my soul, that I am not spreading misinformation.
Yeah. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it.
Nope.
You wouldn't waste your time.
No, because then I would be a crackpot. But, and it's like everybody wants to talk about misinformation. Well, as far as COVID goes, those vaccines, there's patents that are telling you. That's why we give you the patent numbers to look up for yourselves, because the information is out there. Operation Mockingbird, the information is out there. You have that CIA guy, I forget what his name, William Colby, that admitted to doing it. And I watched another video this morning where some older lady, who's probably been a journalist since all this started, because she was older, a lot older, versus a young one. And the first thing the older lady said, "That's a conspiracy theory." She goes, "Well, there's an awful lot of information about a conspiracy theory now." So, she's still defending what she knows is true, because she knows it's not a conspiracy theory. And that's the first thing that they say. I swear, the closer you get to the truth, the more conspiracy theory you're spewing. And like they showed like one guy, and how they're talking about how it's in today's stuff, and they
Mhm.
showed this one guy, something Oliver, I think, I don't know what his name was, and how it's in like the late night shows and stuff, and they're
Yeah,
saying
late
so
night
they
shows.
cover it up with laughs. And the guy was talking about something, I don't remember what it was, about conspiracy theory. And then first thing he says is, "Oh, and like those ones that say the moon landing never happened." So he takes something that has nothing to do with it and he puts that first. So now he's planting the conspiracy theory seed right there. And then he'll go on, and talk about that. And then he'll slide this in. And all of a sudden, because people are already thinking conspiracy theories, and I'm not saying conspiracy theories don't exist, they do everywhere. But not everything is a conspiracy theory. They said people talking about the vaccines, that's all conspiracy theory. Really? Because I'm looking at it in black and white. Where's the conspiracy theory? And how many of these conspiracy theories have been proven right?
Yeah, I have a meme says hug your conspiracy theorists as they were right. You're right. And also CIA, didn't they're the ones who created the term conspiracy theory.
I'm not surprised. Yeah,
That's your proof.
very few parts of our government are for the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Trump is. And I believe he is trying to drain the swamp. And
Maybe
that's
he's,
why they want the hate campaign out there. Because he's
yeah.
dangerous to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because he can stop them.
Yeah, he's planted seeds like, hey, take a look at this.
He's
Saying
worked with, he has worked with every world leader on this.
yeah. Oh, I haven't sent you one video. I have to send another video. I have so many videos. I have to send it to you. It's about him going to each of the.
Oh, I've seen it. I've
Oh, you
seen
saw
it.
that one?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep.
Okay.
And whether he had to blackmail them or they did it out
Yeah.
of respect, it doesn't matter how he got the job done. But when Putin handed him that soccer ball,
Yes, that one too. Yes. Yeah.
balls in your court. And that's what he told him, balls in your court. And they're saying that there was probably something in that soccer ball
Yeah.
pertaining to some computer stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I heard too.
Now,
Yeah.
that I don't know if it's true, but what was Putin saying when the ball's in your court? You know, when they showed like Trump meeting these people and the signs of respect he was given,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And the video shows you like, I think it was Muslim, maybe somewhere over there in that area. Something they did with him was like something that is never ever done.
Oh, the sword ceremony in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. I saw
Yeah.
that too.
You know, and literally now you got the clown show goes over there and they fucking laugh in his face.
Mm-hmm.
They ignore him. It is so disrespectful. They didn't treat Trump like that
Yeah.
because other world leaders are scared of him because he
Yeah.
knows a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how he knows everything, but I assume it's because of his power.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, well, he took a picture with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, I'm sure a lot of people did. They ran in the same circles. Money
Yeah.
runs with money. You don't think Trump's going to hang out with my kind of people, do you? No, we're
Yeah.
broke. He runs with the money people. And that's, you know, where Epstein was running. He's
Yeah.
not the only one that had nothing to do with it that took a picture with him or was, you know, spotted with him at some point.
Yeah. 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 Because I mean, it's just the people that you would go see at parties, and then people are like, oh, take a photo, turn it over here. I mean, that's what you do. There's probably tons
Yeah,
of photos that I've taken with, like when I was out and about in the club scene, that I didn't really like talk to the person, but yet my photo is with them.
yeah.
So I'm an example of that. Happens.
Yep. I've had my picture taken with a few infamous people. Not famous, I said infamous. And we'll leave that one there. But that doesn't mean it had anything to do with whatever they did.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it didn't. But it just goes to show that the garbage they will put out there to
Hmm.
get people just to hate or to believe whatever they want. Yeah, and it's just that's what they spend their life doing, manipulating us.
Hmm.
That's what the CIA is about. Figuring out how to
Brainwash us,
yep, how to manipulate us, brainwash us,
control us, you name
so
it.
we can be puppets against our will.
Hmm.
Well, so that was our show on Operation Mockingbird. But yeah, guys, I want to know how you guys what you come across as far as seeing Operation Mockingbird. Because it's
Yeah.
in so many different forms and everything. And
Yeah.
it's not just one bit of propaganda. There's so much of it that they're just trying to make us believe all this garbage.
Exactly. Oh, my son
Not
is
to be
texting me.
mind controlled. Nope. I was. Not anymore. Thank God. And it's so freeing to know really what the differences are. You know what I mean? I think I live freer now,
Yeah,
knowing because I know what to stay
totally.
away from. Now any doctor wants to give me medicine, I want to go, why?
Well,
And
don't
I'm
give me
not saying
nothing.
all medicine is bad, but oh my God, do they over medicate people?
Yeah.
Everybody. That's all they want to do. And they're not happy till you're on 10 medications, and
Yeah.
little do you know they all interact with each other.
Poison,
And
poison, poison, poison.
yep, yep. So we always have to go back for more medicine.
Yeah.
It's another way they control us.
Hmm.
Like my roommate said to me the other day, he goes, "You really need to go for pain management." And I was like, "Why? There's only one
Hmm.
option. There's only one option." He
Yeah.
goes, "No,
Like, no way.
no, hell no. I'd
Yeah.
rather put a gun in my mouth." Hey, if I'm gonna die, I'm not gonna do it
You're taking
slowly
it
and
slowly.
miserably.
Right. That
No,
makes
thank
sense.
you. Like after my first accident, they put me on what's that painkiller? The one they give to everybody. Some opioid, and then Xanax and some other thing, and I'm like,
Oxycontin,
no, no, it was no, they'd already pretty much stopped giving out Oxycontin. It was
Vicodin.
some something like that,
Oh,
an
okay.
opioid. I wouldn't take them.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, I'll be high as shit. It's crazy. No, thank you. Because I have an addictive personality, you know.
Yeah, I don't want that
I
stuff
was
in my
even
body.
drinking then, and even I knew then not to do it.
Right. Yeah.
And it was a good thing because they cut me off cold turkey. So had I been taking the meds like I told them I was,
Hmm.
because are you taking your medicine? Sure.
You're like,
Um,
nope, we're not taking.
but to take people off of those kind of medications cold turkey is very dangerous.
Yeah, I have to wean off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're just like, oh, we
Yeah.
can't give you any more prescriptions. And I'm like, okay.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for your service. See ya.
Yeah.
No. All
Oh,
right, guys. What are we talking about next week, Gina?
I don't know. I have no idea. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and the schedule for our show is a little off because now we have to record on Fridays instead of Tuesdays because they mow lawns over here on Tuesdays. So that doesn't work.
Yeah. Too loud. Yeah. All right,
Way too
Francine.
loud. All right, guys.
Thank
Well,
you
will
so
we
much.
we will be back with another show next week. Good to see you, Gina.
Nice to see you. Welcome back. And then I'm so happy to hear about your new place.
Yes. And guys, we will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care.